Another day and even more trio drama. We now have Khanada splitting with Muzz and Rise so he can go play with Bugha and Threats, and apparently Bugha has paid him to do it. It's a ridiculous story. I want to clear up exactly what's going on, and I want to talk about the new changes to the competitive meta with the reboot cards being removed from competitive and the island finally being added. There's a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. Before we get into talking about the meta changes, let's talk about the trio drama. It feels like every other day there's new drama with the top trios, and today is no exception. On NA, we now have Khanada splitting with Muzz and Rise so he can play with Bugha and Threats. Now, you might be questioning this. I question this. I've been saying that Muzz, Rise, and Khanada were one of the best teams on the region. They've been looking disgusting this first week. They've got shiny shafts uncontested. It's a good drop. They're all playing really well together. Their vibes seem good. Why would they split? So Khanada gave a few reasons. Firstly, he thinks that Seaport City is better than shiny shafts. Yes, he's giving up a good drop spot uncontested, but Bugha also already has Seaport City uncontested now that Acorn's team has been dropping Mast Meadows, and he doesn't want to drop near Peterbot. This sounds crazy. This sounds like a troll, but Khanada doesn't want to land anywhere near Peterbot, and this is for several reasons as well. Peterbot at Crime City right now just has a gigantic tower over everyone with a mythic mammoth pistol. He is just surge tagging and farming everyone, but Khanada knows if Peterbot's looking for a big game, he needs to key. He's going to key the teams around him at Outlaw Oasis, at Shiny Shafts, and to the south of Crime City, because then he can just take the Geyser and play Storm. So Peterbot has been playing quite aggressive around this drop. He's actually just been banned from scrims for several days from the pro scrims because he's been playing too aggressive. So it's fair to understand why Khanada doesn't really want to drop around Peterbot. If he's playing that aggressive in scrims where he knows he can't play aggressive, it's going to be even worse in tournaments. So Khanada would rather drop Seaport City uncontested. Now, seeing how Bugha, Khanada, and Threats played the Seaport City games today in pro scrims, it makes sense. I thought the main value of Seaport City was going to be getting the vault and going over to the black market, but then you have to fight the Mast Meadows team for black market, which at this point is Cooper and Acorn, and there's usually another good team on the fields as well. It looks like Bugha's not actually doing that. Bugha's spending most of their gold at the vending machines inside Seaport City and holding on to the extra gold as kind of like an insurance if they have to go to the black market or if they have to play zone a little bit. So it actually does look like a really good drop with the way Bugha's playing it right now. The next question is always going to be, is Bugha grinding? We talked about it a lot last season, but Bugha not really grinding. He was clearly focusing on other financial endeavors on his social media and pretty much said himself he's not playing that much, and he still ended up coming 7th in grand finals with a lot of top 5 potential. So Bugha is obviously a phenomenal player, one of the greatest of all times, but a lot of people, myself included, question why would Khanada split with Muzz and Rise, who are very clearly grinding, playing scrims every day, really locked in, really hungry for the game, to play with Bugha with his history of, sometimes taking season seriously, sometimes not, kind of coming and going. And it's a fair question, but Bugha wanted to put this to rest, and this is where the kind of what I've heard of people saying, oh, Bugha paid Khanada. Bugha didn't pay Khanada to play with him, but he has put down 1 Bitcoin, which is valued at over $100,000 as collateral. So basically what that means is Bugha said, hey, Khanada, you don't believe that I'm not grinding, you don't think I'm going to take this seriously, I'm not going to make you leave your established solid trio just on the fact that I say I'm going to play the game. I'm going to give you a Bitcoin, and if I don't grind this game to your standard, or if I snake you and leave you, you get to keep it. So you got to hear that from Khanada's point of view. Yes, he's leaving Muzz and Rise, who are looking really good from a good drop spot, but he's now going to another drop spot that he thinks is better, with a better situation, playing with an extremely decorated player who's promising him, who's putting $100,000 out there that he is going to grind the game, he is going to take it seriously. So at that point, I fully understand where Khanada's coming from. So I wanted to put the rumor to rest that Bugha has paid Khanada, because he hasn't technically. Yes, he's put his money where his mouth is, literally, but he hasn't paid him to leave Muzz and Rise. And I want to make this very clear. Muzz and Rise hold no bad blood here. They've said that, look, they get it. If Khanada didn't think their vibes were right, or didn't think their playstyle was right, he's happy they did this as early as he did. No point dragging it out into cash cups once they start and then getting close to FNCS. If he wants to find another trio, now's the best time to do it, and now they have time to find another trio. So respect all round. I mean, some people are going to be rubbed the wrong way by Bugha's move, but I get it. I respect it. I don't think there's anything in the rules to do something like this. He's not paying Khanada to drop on someone else. He's not even technically paying Khanada to leave his trio. He's just pretty much putting it out there like, yo, you're only going to leave your trio, which is fair, if I'm fully locked in, and I'm promising you I'm locked in. So it's kind of a crazy one, but I saw a lot of people in my chat saying that Bugha paid Khanada. It's not quite that, but it's still a crazy situation at this point. Fortnite trios, especially on NA, is just a soap opera. As far as what this means for the trios going forward now, Edgy, I don't really know who he's playing with. I think he's going to play with Quanti and potentially one other, because he was the one who was playing with Bugha and Threats. As far as Muzz and Rise, they've picked up Virgo for now. Virgo is going to be their third, and they've played a lot of scrims today with him. They haven't announced this. They haven't said it's official. They haven't said they're staying together all season. They've just started playing games that were looking really good in scrims. They weren't streaming, so I couldn't see exactly what their vibes were like as far as how well they were getting along, but Virgo's slotted in with a lot of teams in the past. He played with Muzz, with Clicks when they were trying to look for a third and practicing, so it should be interesting to see how that trio comes about. I'm not really sure exactly what this means. If Bugha is this locked in, grinding this hard with Khanada Threats at a good drop spot, I think that is a disgusting trio. I'm just excited to see how it plays out. I have been getting this question so much. What is the best keyboard for Fortnite? With so many pros like G Money and even Reed officially switching to mouse and keyboard, which keyboard should you be using? I absolutely love my Razer Huntsman V3 Pro. I'm currently using it in the mini 60% size, but you can also get it in the TKL 80% or the full size. So no matter your preference, they've got you covered. But what makes this keyboard so great? Well, I believe it all comes down to the analog optical switches. You can adjust the actuation from as low as 0.1 millimeters for lightning fast keystrokes all the way up to 4 millimeters. So for me, I like to have my edit and build binds as low as possible, so it's nice and sensitive, really easy to press. But I am a bit of a boomer. I can fat finger my other binds sometimes, so having it a higher actuation makes it a lot easier for me not to fat finger, but still keep that insane lightning speed on the binds that I want. With Razer's free software, you can adjust all of this super easily. It also comes with all the other features like Snap Tab if you're playing games like Valorant, you want your movement to be really, really crispy, or it has rapid trigger, so you can have your binds be even faster if you're running a higher actuation. You don't have to all the way let off the key before you can press it back in. This is really helpful for those of you guys who are spamming your edit binds in creative. It is just an all-round amazing keyboard. I absolutely love it. Don't forget, use code Aussie5 at checkout for 5% off when you buy from Razer.com, or click the link down below. Now, this isn't really like a trio split drama, but we do have a major drop spot change. We have Malibuca, Wox, and Ping switching from Mars Meadows to drop at Lone Wolf Lair. Now, you gotta remember, Malibuca is one of 2 teams on EU that have the land spot, so they can basically get whatever drop they want uncontested. And it means several things. So it means that Malibuca believes that Lone Wolf Lair is better than Mars Meadows, which is a huge thing for Clicks. Clixiomzo and Higgs, Batman Bugha, have Lone Wolf Lair on NA. They're playing phenomenally. If you got Malibuca, one of the most experienced and best players in Fortnite, saying that's the second best drop on the map behind Crime City, that is a very, very big deal, and it's awesome for other teams like Clicks already going there. Now, this could have a trickle-on effect. Cooper, Vidil, and Sphinx have said they were going to go to EU. They decided they're not going to go to EU. They're going to keep playing on NA because they have a better chance of getting Mars Meadows uncontested. Now, they're getting contested by Acorn, Ages, and Ritual, who have been doing really well in scrims from Mars Meadows uncontested because Vidil's still in Germany. He hasn't been playing the scrims, so they haven't been going, Acorn versus Cooper, but that now means they actually have a higher chance of getting their drop spot uncontested on EU than NA. So I don't know whether Cooper, Vidil, and Sphinx will maybe go to EU now and play so they can get Mars Meadows uncontested like they originally planned on doing, because with Malibuca leaving, it kind of leaves it open for the next team to jump in and take it. It's kind of unfortunate timing for Vidil being stuck between the 2 regions, so we can't really try to lock down the drop spot on any one region. Again, last I spoke, all 3 of them were still planning on contesting Acorn, Ages, and Rituals. They said they think they're going to be able to beat them on drop anyway. Yes, they have the land, but even if we don't qual this season, we can just qual next season. So I'm not sure what this means for Mars Meadows on NA going forward. All right, let's talk about the 2 major changes to the competitive meta. Firstly, reboot cards are now no longer purchasable. I talked about it in yesterday's video. It was obviously a glitch having the reboot cards being bought for 1 gold. We were talking about ways that it could maybe be improved. Maybe you have to wait till the reboot card expires, make it more expensive, make it cost a dill bit. I saw a lot of good suggestions in the comments. Epic's decided to take none of those. They're just going to remove it. So they're removing the feature of buying reboot cards in competitive altogether. It might be getting brought back, but from what we've heard from sources like Manu, who's spoken to Epic, it looks like it is just being removed. So I'm not sure how to feel about this. I wasn't a huge fan of the feature. Like I said, I did want it to be changed in some way. I wanted it to feel more punishing and, kind of play around with the idea of it costing a little bit more, but just removing it entirely, I don't know if that was the best decision. I would have liked to see them just try it and play around with making it more expensive. And then if it was still still broken, then remove it. I've always said in the past, I don't like how Epic's, options are either just have the item and vault it rather than trying to balance it and meet somewhere in the middle. But it is now gone from competitive, whether we love it or hate it. One of the things that just got added to competitive that's already massively changing the scrims is the island. The island hasn't been spawning in competitive games, so the Evaluation Cup and all of the pro scrims we've been watching have not had the island spawn a single time until today. And now we've gotten our first look at it. It is insane. So you get the new medallion off the island. The way it works is the Shogun medallion. Now, every single time you pop healing items, you drop a shield bubble junior. Now, the shield bubble junior only goes down for a few seconds. It doesn't last for a super long time, but the cooldown on it's quite short, and it's really cool to see some ways you can play around with it. I mean, just if your teammate gets sniped or mammoth in the open, as soon as you walk up to him, you can just pop any kind of meds and you will drop the shield bubble and go for the res. It helps a lot with that lobby focus, but you also get the mythic Hollow Twister assault rifle. So the assault rifle that used to be reserved for the train that made pretty much some of the best teams in the world go brutal boxcars, you now get it off the island. So you're getting a position above all the players in the lobby with extra material, extra loot. You can fly into the next zone, and you are giving them the best assault rifle in the game on top of this shield bubble medallion. This is going to change things a lot, and you're going to see big teams going for it. Peterbot, in the one game he was able to play scrims today, before he got banned for W King, he went the island. So it looks like Peterbot does have the intention of going up onto the island and playing aggressive, just like they were doing last season. So I'm really excited to see if we can have any teams claim this, because between the fighting over the black market and now fighting over the island, we have a very, very exciting mid-game meta, which we haven't had too much in the past. Fortnite's always been trying to add mid-game objectives to create more fighting, to make competitive more exciting to play and watch, especially in the mid-game, and looks like they've finally done that. I think other than the caches, this might be one of the best metas we've had of creating these fights in the mid game and making them risky but feel like they have some kind of value to make it more exciting.